Morning everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to try and bale some grass hay. You guys saw in the last video that we dropped this, and that right now is 2 days ago exactly. So this grass has been on the ground for 2 days. It's dried out a huge amount already. Some of the thicker bits are still a little bit tough, but I think after today with the weather forecast, this stuff is going to dry right out. And we're gonna try to make some round bales. We are gonna make a few small square bales, just enough to make 8 stacks in our small square bale shed, and the rest we're gonna round bale. Neline's getting quite a few goats, so I guess it's probably gonna be more convenient to feed them with a round bale now, instead of lugging those small squares around. But still handy to have a few of those. We don't feed any of this hay to the calves anymore. We used to feed a little bit to the smaller calves in the group pen barn, but not anymore. So Miriam's out here, she's raking them together. For the round baler, we're putting 2 swaths into one, and that's just going to speed things up quite a bit. So that's one purpose of raking. The other purpose, of course, you're taking that swath and you're flipping it upside down. So obviously the stuff at the bottom of the swath always takes a lot longer to dry because it's not facing the sun. So with the rake, you're able to flip it over, bring the bottom of the swath to the top, and it'll dry out a lot quicker that way. This grass is still pretty green. It hasn't had any rain on it, and if we can get it baled today, I don't think there will be any on it. But tomorrow's gonna get really hot, and there's always a risk of thunder showers when it gets super hot out here. So we're gonna try and get this baled up today. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, Miriam's gonna finish raking this up here within the next hour probably. And then this afternoon later, we're gonna try and bale some hay. So here's 2 swaths that haven't been raked yet. And then here's one that has been raked together. Quite an impact. Fluffs it up again, allows the air to move through it better. I asked Miriam also to leave 12 swaths that were just single but flipped over. So she just raked the one swath, flipped it upside down, and those swaths are hopefully going to make us all the small square bales that we need. It's just that small square baler, you know, it's an older piece of equipment and it's not built for the wide headers of today. So putting 32 feet worth of grass straw through that, it's a little bit too much for that little small square baler. So we picked up the baler from our other yard, and I think we're going to be able to bale this afternoon. Just checked out the hay again, and it's supposed to be close to plus 30 today. Bit of wind is going to stay in the air, and of course no clouds. So we should have pretty good luck making bales today. Just pulled this thing out of the shed, fired right up after 6 months there, so solid. We're just going to put some grease to this baler, grease the chains a little bit, put some oil on there, get it ready to go. Okay guys, we're ready to go make our first bale. Swaths are looking bone dry. These are the first ones that we cut down. Very little toughness in there, still a little bit, but should only get drier from this point on. can hear that crackling. That's what you want. Well, we got our first bale in the chamber. I tried putting the net wrap around it and it just didn't go. So I think it's something with our net wrap system in the front here. I'm just gonna pull it all the way out and then refeed it in as if it was a new roll. Hopefully it goes on this time. So we got these 3 rolls right here and we gotta feed it through with this pattern. So under the first one, over and under again. I always need to look at this for the first bale I make of the year, the first new roll we put in here. So I think I got it. Okay, that's our first bale. You can see the net wrap didn't go all the way to the edge here. That's just because we restarted that roll of net wrap. It always happens like this on the first bale. Next one should come right to the edge. Now we're just testing the moisture. This is our moisture tester. We'll use this for hay, for straw, whatever we're making, small squares, round bales, doesn't matter. We always want to be around 15. So right there you can see it's 22, way too high. $14.8, see, that's doable. $10.1, 14.1, 13.3. Oftentimes, I feel like a lot of other farmers as well struggle to decide when you can bale. It's always borderline, and then you might end up with a few moldy bales in there and you don't want that. So I'm just gonna, what I usually do to, you know, make up my mind, I'll literally take the exact average of like 5 probes of the bale and I'll add them up on my phone, and based on that, I'll go yes or no before I'll pick my moisture percentage. So we'll do 14%. If I'm above that, I'm gonna give it another hour or so. And then if it's below 14 on average, then we'll go. Okay, so the average there was 20. Pretty simple, not gonna make bales right now. Gonna give it another 2 hours probably before we try. So we'll come back just after 6 and see if it's any better. I got another thing I need to do right now, and that is check the temperatures of all the bearings on the baler. So Brent gave me, this is a thermal gun, a heat sensor gun. It's got a little laser on there, and then it tells you the temperature where that laser is pointing. Pretty cool. So the idea behind this, if there's a bad bearing on one of the rollers, it's going to get hot after a few bales, and then it should be way hotter than the rest. So just going to do that on all of these rollers here, all the bearings. So they're all around 30. A real easy way to check if this gun is accurate or not is just to point it at the exhaust. There you go. So we're unable to make bales there, just a little bit too moist yet. It's been on the ground now for 48 hours. Kind of checks out, you know, can't push it too much. It is really dry, almost 30 degrees, windy, sunny, very low humidity, but you still gotta give it time to dry out. So that's unfortunate, but on the better note, I'm heading to the city right now. We're gonna pick up new fan blades for our MacDon swather. So in a more recent video, you guys would have seen Miriam was driving home after cutting hay, and the swather blew up. We need to use that swather tomorrow morning, and we had a little bit of struggle getting that fan ordered. Dealers were not stocking it, which is crazy to me because I thought that was a cup. Which is crazy to me because Saskatchewan's absolutely littered with this exact same swather. The Macdon, the Premier, the John Deere, they're all the same. They all have the same engine, and it's crazy that they weren't stocking that. But anyway, ordered it about a day ago, and it's inbound now. So we're gonna go pick that up. Brent can get it on the swather, and then we're actually able to chop tomorrow. Well, here we are. Hopefully they got the parts we need. Bunch of green equipment. What is this stuff? Huh. Well, we got what we needed from these guys, so thanks to them. I like John Deere. I have nothing against them. We don't own any John Deere equipment, but I don't know, maybe in the future. The only thing I don't like about them is their price tag. Full line eggs over there too. I like Fendt tractors. I like the cases as well. Oh, that's a sweet rig right there with the blade on it. So much shiny equipment, it's unreal. Man, look at all the combines. How are they gonna sell all those? I have no idea. Anyway, the fan's back there. And we're gonna head back to the farm. Brent's can put this on. It's already 5:20, so better rip. Brent got that fan back on the swather. Got it going again, grabbed the draper header. So Niline's gonna grab that thing in a bit here and cut the first round around that rye field. I'm quickly gonna go check the hay again now. I was pretty confident this stuff would dry out today, but it doesn't look like it did. It hasn't fully cured yet, so the thick parts of the stems, they're just not cracking like they should be if you wanted to make bales out of this stuff already, so it's still too tough. And usually if you get dew on your hay and then it gets tough, it's not as bad, but this stuff has not reached that fully cured point yet, and that's when you don't want to bale. So try again tomorrow. I'm gonna be chopping rye tomorrow, so Dad will probably get out here with the round baler and get that thing going, but it's all ready here to go for him. The baler's sitting right there, so he just has to walk out to the field, hammer out a few bales. It's only 50 acres, so I feel like it's maybe 3 hours worth of baling. It's nothing too bad. The tedious thing is gonna be making those small squares, so. Well, we are not able to make any grass hay, so I figured we'd ride along with Neline while she opens up the first round of the rye field. We always do this the night before we start chopping. We open up the field just to kind of get an idea, make sure that the morning goes smoothly. So she's heading out there right now, and we'll meet her there. Okay, so we're on the first round of this field, and probably you guys will notice there's a lot of weeds in this field. So this is one quarter that we planted of rye last fall. The one beside it here is another quarter that we planted. That quarter is 100% clean because we sprayed it for weeds this spring. But this one we decided we were gonna silage pretty early on, so we figured we might as well just leave the weeds in there to add some more tonnage because it was already looking dry earlier this year, and that's kind of how it turned out. So a few weeds in here, quite a bit of lamb's quarters, a little bit of kochia, some other stuff. There's also quite a bit of volunteer barley in this field, but it's all gonna add some tons and make a little bit more feed. But for the rest, you know, honestly, this rye is looking really good for how much rain it got. There's a few strips of barley mixed into the rye, and that's where we finished clearing the trees out. You guys might remember last fall I was burning piles of maple trees, and we had the dirt work guy, JJ, come out, level the dirt again. And this spring, after we seeded the rye, of course, we came back here and put some barley down, and you can see it pretty clearly here. That's the barley and that's the rye. So yeah, it's looking pretty pathetic to say the least. Oh well. I just realized we still need to mark out where that pile is gonna go. So we got a pallet full of stakes here. I guess Sask Energy did some testing in our fields over the course of winter, and they left a bunch of stakes out there, so we were able to grab some before they took them away, which is awesome. These were just marking lines in the ground or test sites in our fields, so we swiped a bunch, and we're gonna use these now to mark out our silage pile. So we're just gonna start the pile kind of equal with our other barley pile there and head that way. Our silage plastic is 66 feet wide, I believe, so I think we'll make this pile 38 feet wide, and then that should give us quite a bit of height, I think. Good enough. So we got our pile marked out where we're gonna put it. Just 8 stakes, 4 on each side, and it's pretty equal with the bunk over there, so that's what really matters. It's 10.5 meters wide, so I think that's like 32 feet or something like that, so should be good. We're expecting 60 to 65 loads of silage tomorrow, so it's not gonna be a massive pile. Not gonna get too tall, not gonna get too wide. Should just look neat.